Hey there, my name's Pete and I like pictures. We're in Lightroom again. And I don't know why I say that, because you see that. So in the last video, the video about working with the adjustment brush, this handy tool here, I already mentioned that I will make a video about the split toning tab. And this is it. And this is the video. So what is split toning? Split toning, the name toning already gives a hint. You can tone a picture. You can give a picture a certain color tone. And not only one, you can do that separately for highlights and shadows. That's why we have highlights and shadows here. We have a hue slider, a saturation slider for highlights. We have a hue slider and a saturation slider for shadows. And we have a balance slider. And we have two mysterious rectangles. You see, on the hue slider, there's this fine line with all colors that we have. For example, I might want to give this picture a more coolish tone. And since we have a lot of highlights in the photo, the sky, we might want to give the highlights a bluish tone. And you see, nothing happens because, the saturation is at 0. So we can increase the saturation and you see, wow, the highlights get blue. What a marvel. And one of those, very common uses of the split toning tool is to give the highlights a certain color or a certain hue and give the shadows the exact opposite color. And what is the opposite of blue? That's orange. And if you know Hollywood, of course you know Hollywood movies. Everyone knows Hollywood movies. And in the last years, it's about like the last 10, almost 15 years since digital color grading became really a big thing. This is even like the look of many blockbusters. This is orange and teal look, but they do it the opposite way. They give most of the time the highlights some sort of orange tone and the shadows more like bluish tone. So this, if you Google orange and teal look, you might find a lot of resources about color grading in movies. So okay, we want to opposite color, give the shadows some sort of an orange tone and increase the saturation. And you see, oh, wow, it changes the picture quite a bit. And maybe I want to increase the saturation of the blues a bit. So I like that. Maybe add a snapshot so I can go back to that state of processing anytime. So that's kind of a subtle way to use it. You can use it, of course, more extreme by increasing the saturation more and increasing the saturation more here as well. So you can really tone a photo and you can balance that. So emphasis more on the shadows or emphasis more on the highlights. I mentioned that in the video about working with the adjustment brush. The best way to use those sliders, in my opinion, is to go to the extremes first, so that you really see what these sliders do. Really push the saturation to 100 and see, oh yeah, looks like that. And then decrease it again. Go back a bit, a good amount further than you might want in the first place. And then push it up a bit and just, it's like this push and pull thing that I work that way because I think that gives me a lot of control and I see what happens. So I like that look a lot. And that's basically everything there is to know about the split toning tool. And you see that those mysterious rectangles, you can click them. And you see you even have a color palette here and you have all the colors. You can change this really interactively by dragging the cursor around or this little that little square, and or you can input the degree. Colors can be defined by different things. One of them is the degree I won't go into color theory or how computers work with colors. This is a bit geeky, so just so that you know, you can even add a degree value. You can change the saturation, really cool. Or you can click just these palette colors and then say, okay, you know, I want this blue, and I want, for example, this part of the palette changed. I want this as one of the defaults in my palette, so I can go over this rectangle and click and hold, and you see it changed. Just to show you, I'll go to green, click and change, and this is here, but I want this blue. Wasn't that blue that I had like this? Okay, click and hold. So this is the default. So yeah, that's basically it. No, it's not, of course, because there's one really, really cool thing for or with the split toning tab, and you can also colorize black and white photos. I won't talk too much about black and white in this video. This will be a separate video, but one way to convert a photo to black and white in Lightroom is to simply, in the basic tab, simply click on black and white. And I should have reset the split toning though. So I'll reset that by either holding down the Alt key option on Mac and click on Reset Highlights, Reset Shadows, or just double click it. Works as well. Works like a charm. We go to the basic tab, click black and white, and you see Lightroom makes a color mix. What is a color mix? Too much information for this video, but you see, take a look at this tab, HSL color, black and white. You go to color and you see change to HSL. So you see we're in the color mode, and you can click on black and white, and we're in black and white. We'll open the tab and we see some sort of a color mix. So you can change the brightness of certain colors. For example, if I want to change the blues, I want the greens, I want the greens brighter. So that's it. So, but yeah, will be a separate video. So I have a black and white picture now, and I kind of like, well, I would improve it a bit or change it a bit if I wanted to output as a black and white photo. But I can use the split toning tool now, and for example, give this photo some sort of a sepia toning. See, this works even on a black and white photo. And I want the shadows also like sepia. And by changing the balance, you can really fine tune that. Change the saturation maybe. So just give it subtle, more subtle sepia toning. I'm not too much a fan of sepia photos, but everyone to their liking. That's it. Short video about the split toning tool. Cool tool, very, very handy, very useful if you want to give your photos some sort of a toning, or your black and white photos some sort of a toning. And yeah, that's for today. Bye. Till next time.